Perfect.
All right, we're recording, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I think that was the question. Cool. So since Quentin, I think you're still on the phone, I might kind of direct energies for a bit. Does someone have questions they want to start out with? Perhaps Caroline or Audrey or Lisa or Matt?
I don't. I'm just here to be a fly on the wall today. Kind of monopolized the last couple, so I'm good.
All right. I will not accept the first statement, but I am willing to accept the second one. Or wait, the other way around? I don't know. Sounds good. Matt?
I do. Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. I do have a question, but I just heard our doorbell go off, so I need to step away and see what's going on, but I should be back in just a minute. Sorry.
Perfect. No worries. I think we lost both. Go ahead, Matt. We'll wait on that. No worries.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think we lost Lisa and Caroline. Oh no, we've got Lisa.
I'm here on my screen. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Sorry, I just lost track of boxes.
What I'm wondering is, I'm debating whether to get at least a trial subscription to Documate, because I think that might be a good tool for us to consider using. I have to talk to our management here. Would I be able to bring questions about that process here if I launch into using that? But I'm also looking forward to working with the system you all set up. So I haven't fully launched into that yet. I'm just kind of gleaning information from what I've done so far, because it's a little bit different from what I'm used to working with, which is primarily A2J, Author, Hot Docs, which are both great, and fillable PDFs. I've done, some automated PDFs and Word docs just using that native software. So that's where I'm coming from.
All right, good to know. I think there's no objection to you bringing questions about that. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to, no problem. The first part, I think you should, so Documate is a pretty small company, and the CEO is like super, super responsive and started out doing access to justice work. They have free access for legal aid. So if you don't see that advertised on the website, then you could probably use the chat feature or something, or some other way to contact them to ask for an account that's free. And I think we could answer the kind of advice that we were just giving Sarah, but we're not ourselves users of Documate. So just in terms of the kind of help we could give you, it would be a little bit different for that reason.
Lisa, can you
shut your video? Bandwidth.
Maybe turn off the. I'll type. So maybe turn off your.
Can you hear me now, or?
Yes.
We can, but maybe turning off your video for a bit might be helpful.
Okay. Is there a particular kind of project that would be the best to bring to this group if I start working on something? Because I know, is there anything particular have a need for in terms of a simple form? Because I've done a variety of forms projects, so I'm wondering if I should tap into something I've done already or launch into something new.
It depends upon what you would be doing, right? So like if you're doing something in Documate, that's different than if you decided you wanted to do a DocAssemble build on something, right? I guess
is there a particular DocAssemble that would be useful to the group?
Oh, you mean like if you wanted to build one to be helpful? I don't know what forms we have, and that we were just talking about in the earlier meeting about forms.
I think Lisa was saying, I'm not sure if you, Lisa, do you mean helpful to mass access, to move mass access forward, or do you mean helpful as a learning tool?
I
for
think
the-
both, helpful to this group and helpful, because I understand that the code, if I've got this right, is shared, that
Yeah.
people. So given that it's a shared resource, I thought I'd just ask you all if there was something in particular that you all find most useful, so.
Well, there are definitely things where, if you think about it in that respect, that shared aspect can work both ways, right? So like folks have done a lot of work, and we're still trying to figure out exactly what it looks like on like financial disclosure forms. That's a place where I think there's still some growth, but there you'd want to sort of familiarize yourself with. I mean, it really sort of depends on what you want to do. If you're thinking you're going to want to start developing stuff in DocAssemble, if you think you're going to be working in Documate, right, there's sort of slightly different beasts, right?
I was thinking of doing something initially very simple in DocAssemble because I'm still getting kind of, situated. And then Documate, I think it looks like Documate could handle pretty much anything I've already done. It just looks like it's pretty similar. So DocAssemble's a different for me, because that would be more of a steep learning curve. So.
Well, in that case, then I'd suggest choosing something that maybe is going to be useful for you and simple, right? And then you can see how you could leverage the existing tools we've built. And then when you start getting into a place that's new for everyone involved, then the additions you make could be shared out with the group. So I think it's entirely appropriate. I understand the desire to want to do something helpful and contribute, but I think it's entirely understandable for you to start with something simple as you're learning, and then leverage the group's prior work so that you can get a sense for the power there. I mean, the sense I get is you sort of want to stick your toe in the water and sort of see how it is developing in DocAssemble. Is that generally right? Oh, we might be hitting the
Might be.
intermittent, lost, and then regained.
Also, you were muted. Oh no, maybe that was Tony. All right, I don't know.
So Lisa, the question was just if the idea is you just want to sort of get your toes wet and sort of feel out DocAssemble, and you don't have to feel like you have to be delivering value to the community. The community is happy to support you, and as you learn to get to the point where then you would add something more to the community, and just by virtue of being part of the community, you add value. So
okay, I don't know if you can hear me now. I hope so.
now
Yes.
I can. Yes.
That's I got the gist of everything that before I had that interruption in connection. So that's all sounds great. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
I think honestly, some of the greatest feedback some of the greatest help we can have is feedback from people's own processes. So when you try and use the processes we've created and the tools we've created, if you can give us feedback on what works easily, what kind of runs smoothly, and what become obstacles or frustrations or confusions, right? So, and it doesn't have to be anything extreme.
I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect.
I'm happy to do that, having had that a little bit of user testing background and usability training and all that. So I'm happy to offer that.
Great. All right. Do you have other questions? Should we go to Matt for a little bit?
I'm done. Thanks.
All right. So Matt,
Yes. Hi.
lay
Thank
it on
you.
us.
All right. I'm hoping this is a simple one. I am trying to use the green words, the help function, in it's basic in a field, in the field label, the alias label, and I was getting the error. Actually, I was trying to do bold as well. And so the error was that it didn't like the asterisk at the start of the field label. But then I saw in an assembly line program that you had built a way to do, at least to have the green word label show up. And I'll demonstrate what this is. And so then I tried to mimic that using the help as one of the attributes of the field. But the formatting wasn't set up. So then I assumed, oh, I think they must have defined this for all the assembly lines. So anyway, I will start if I can share my screen, I can
That'd be great.
show it better than I can explain it.
I do want to just clarify real quick that the green text and the help button or help specifiers are separate, are different things. Green text are terms and help buttons are a separate feature. Just to clarify for folks who are listening. Or
yeah, so this isn't the help button. You'll see the way it operates.
Yes, yeah. There's help button, then there's a help question mark, and then there are green text, which are terms. So there's a help for the whole page, there's help for a field, and then there are terms, which are the green text.
Okay, so maybe that's what's going on. All right, so here is what I saw on an assembly line program.
Mm-hmm.
This works similar to how I was envisioning it and hoping that it would be, because I want to say in my program, I have this. So how are you going to deliver this? And I wanted to say, for a commercial delivery program, I wanted this to be a green term, and someone can click on it like, what is it? What is that exactly? And then I wanted to have the definition.
So I think part of the problem here is if you were to click on a green term, you would expect text to show up and an item to not be selected. I'm just conceptually first covering this bit, right? So imagining that, so here the label is the green term, right?
Good
not
point.
The field itself.
Mm-hmm.
But if you
Here
have
it's
a
all one.
field which is activated by a click, then how is that green term expected to behave, right?
Great point. You have to click just on the pixels that are green, not the surrounding ones. That
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's actually possible. It might be though.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it was. I was just saying. You're right. I'm trying to do two things with one click, but okay. So I guess I'm just wondering then if I have checkboxes like this, maybe I shouldn't have a clickable green word term, because
we can experiment and see if it's possible, but okay. I just don't know if that would be a great user interaction.
Sure.
I sort of agree with Michelle there. Like, I'm also confused on what would be the different text you put in the green term for the specific like commercial delivery company there, and what would be different than from the text in like the question mark at the end there, like you already have.
Yeah, no, so it's the same text. I just like having a consistent format of, hey, anytime there's some text that I don't understand, it's green, it's in bold, and there's the question mark icon right next to it. So I know, oh, there's more I can learn by clicking.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Which I may not.
Unfortunately, it might not be possible.
Okay.
And is that question mark in there? You used an icon or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. So here's so this is kind of just a mishmash of the different things that I was doing as I was trying certain things. But yeah, so if I can, this is how I was able to get the question mark at the end of the yes, no, wide option. Mm-hmm. You just put the help and it works like that. And you can, where's the email one? Yes, and then I can also just put in the question circle icon right in there because I've defined that elsewhere.
Yeah, you could also question mark with where's the icon? I see, question circle. So you could also instead instead of doing yes, no, wide, do yes, no, and add a label. And then you can make that have green text, right? That could be a term definition.
Yeah,
So that's kind of another way to think about retaining consistency.
Okay.
though I too prefer the wide,
Yeah. Let me
just
see
how
what-
that looks when it's wide. So
Let me just see what. Why did you do that? Oh, it's because it's over there.
and then
Oh, yeah, I see. So I've done that. I just want to.
and oh, I wonder if it's possible to have a label that's it would probably be maybe that's a checkbox label. I wonder if there's a way. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe there isn't a way to have a separate label to the left. You might be able to have a note, perhaps, is the way to think about it. Green text that is a note, but it would increase the vertical spacing that it would take.
Yeah, I've already got some, and this is a related issue. I have some extra space here because when there's a show if,
Yeah, that's
Probably.
not something
You
we've
guys know about that.
figured out how to combat as yet, but
Yeah.
it is a known doc assemble behavior.
Okay, well, this is helpful, at least knowing more of what I have control over and understanding that it wasn't just something that was defined elsewhere. That makes me, that answers a little bit, because I was wondering, I was like, oh, this is just done the same, this is done like this. So I thought, oh, why is, but now I see it's a different field type. So,
and it's I was thinking
sense.
another alternative is a yes/no radio, which is another different interaction, but then the label would appear on the left and you would be able to have terms. That I know for sure. So it would be a different interface though. Right? So if US mail were yes/no radio, you would have US mail be the label and the radios would say yes and no.
Yeah,
So,
it's already pretty busy
yeah, it is,
with my
unfortunately.
5 different options. So, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how I could, is there a way I can color this icon?
I believe so. Trying to think if there's a way without CSS to color the icon. Like if there's a specifier.
Is this a font awesome icon?
Yeah.
It's the icon
inserted
that's
manually? Okay.
Nope, not inserted manually. It's the question mark that is inserted next to a field when it has a help specifier.
Yeah, it's still a font awesome, by the way.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
No, but I think Michelle caught on to the right question I had, though, which is, well, I'm going to jump onto the call because I'm back at my desk now.
Sure.
Don't mean to leave you in suspense. But the reason why I was asking is if you just use the
if you just use the method of adding an icon with using like the question circle there on line 378.
So
Yeah.
Matt, if you could go to the page and show Quentin the dilemma we're dealing with. So
It's not the question mark inside that you're trying to work with. It's the one outside on the right.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that one you can't control.
you might be able to control with CSS. I'm not sure. It depends how but I think you can do stroke color or something like, or fill color for an SVG. And depending on how the SVG is created, that might be sufficient.
Yeah, I think it does use a bootstrap variable. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I've seen other people color it. So,
Oh, yeah.
but it would be like an all or nothing thing.
Okay. Well, I think for this one, because I have a few terms I'm going to define, I think I'm just going to have a help button here that'll just say, can you tell me more about these things, or what, something like that. And then they'll go and they'll define what a commercial delivery company is and what they are what they mean when they say e-filing system, stuff like that. So I can just do it that way instead of.
Sure. I mean, I will say that I personally prefer to have the definition next to the item itself, but I'm not sure that's representative of everyone's experience.
Yeah, no, I like it. Another option, I mean, these definitions are short enough. I can maybe just have a summary version of that in parentheses after these, because I'm using yes, no, wide, and that does give me a little space and doesn't look too cumbersome. So I'll maybe play with that as well.
Sure.
Huh, okay, good. Well,
And
thank
you can
you.
use more than one method. That's why they're checkboxes and not radio.
Right, yeah, if you wanted to
Okay.
go wild
Oh,
and
I see.
deliver by
Using
every single
follow-up.
method, because I'm
Yeah.
making sure that this other party got my appearance. Yeah.
Really, really sure. Okay.
Yeah, so you could,
I got it.
but it's, yeah, who knows what people do. I would love to see some data on how people truly deliver their forms.
Well, I mean, your form might be the start of that if you use this to collect anonymized data to see how many people, count how many people select which options. You could be the starting point for gathering that data.
Yeah.
But I wonder how you would otherwise, I don't know.
Okay, well, that's good. No, thank you. That was very helpful. And I think I can work with this to make it a little bit easier to understand, even though I can't use the pretty green words, which I love, but I have to do it some other way, some other places, which there are plenty of opportunities. So
Yeah.
great. All right. So that was my question. I'm gonna stop sharing.
All right. Well, I can let Quentin take over.
Well, not too much to take over, but I guess I could say, Audrey, since you're on the call, and Matt, the issue we opened up last week, we just closed yesterday about making the editable checkbox optional. So that's something that you can use now if you want. If you need any help accessing that parameters, let us know.
Great, thank you.
There was also the issue about whether an editable version got sent, which I think is also, I don't know if y'all ended up making that a separate issue, but.
It doesn't do anything for PDF as far as I know. I think you wrote that code, Michelle, but I don't think we ever implemented anything there.
Okay.
It should do it for a Word document, but I don't think that is what Audrey was working with. I'm not sure. There wasn't an issue for that. I guess I didn't catch that last week.
Okay.
Am I right? Am I remembering right?
It was written in the same issue. I brought up the opportunity to make that a separate issue since it was its own behavior that was separate from the desired, like the desired email choice behavior. But I left, I think, had to leave before that was resolved. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Well, hold on. Before we just try to remember, is the form, Audrey, that you were working on, is it a Word document or a PDF?
It was a PDF.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything there for us to investigate, although we could open an issue to say, let's add this feature, which I don't think is present right now.
Sure.
Just because it would require changing the attachment block. Well, I guess there are other ways to do it besides changing the attachment block.
Right.
Yeah, this is a general question. I noticed that our DocAssemble servers rebooted this morning. I'm guessing there was an update, potentially. an Ubuntu update or something. Did you notice anything like that on your servers?
No, but you know what? Funnily enough, I started subscribing to your server update status. I noticed it restarted too.
Ah,
And I have that for other people that I've helped set up their servers, and yours is the only one who restarted this morning for that one data point.
interesting.
Out of like 8 or so.
Okay. Huh. All right. Well,
I assumed you were updating it. You're on
no,
your end.
it
Since
wasn't.
it came right back up.
Yeah, I was happy to see that. So that's good. No, thanks. And thanks for being on that email list.
Cool.
Sometimes what happens is there's an update that's an Ubuntu update, and timing of the random intervals people's servers check in, it gets staggered by like a day or so. So maybe we will all have this restart tomorrow, and then we can have some shared information.
Gotcha. And I asked this before, just want to confirm this is still the case, that I should manually be checking to see if there are updates to the assembly line package. And yeah, just so I make sure we're current with all the updates.
Yeah, I don't have another way right now. I think we should think about how to add some better ways to notify people, but we just don't have any other better ways yet. The only thing I can say is you can watch those 2 repositories, and then you'll get an update from GitHub.
I was going to
Oh.
say you can subscribe to updates in GitHub. You can just hit the watch button that's in the right under the heading.
That's not gonna give him what he wants though, because Matt, you're like, it's not like, I'm assuming that like Matt doesn't like, it would be maybe useful, but it's probably not super useful for him to get all of the conversations and all of the details that are happening. And I don't think we're having, like, until we have a better release process, can you just watch releases?
You can't, not unless I think we use GitHub tags or something like that, but he could watch for something that says version bump. So you could
You can
ignore
watch for
everything that doesn't
Pull
say version
requests.
bump.
Yeah, there's no,
Pull requests. Yeah.
you can, okay, when you choose watch, I'm looking now. So let me just show you where we're looking at. So that will help you try to share the right screen this time. Okay, so if I go to watch here, the default is all activity, but you can click custom, and then you can just look for releases. Won't do anything because we're not using releases, but you could look for pull requests, and at least you would get notified only for when someone
That'll still be
creates
all the
a
discussion
commit
on
that
the
has a
pull
pull
requests,
request associated.
right?
Sorry, Matt. Bryce, I was talking over you.
Oh, sorry, that's watching pull requests will still get all of the discussion on all of the pull requests though, which is,
Oh, no, you don't want that.
yeah, I think the solution is for us to start using GitHub releases, because that is honestly just an easier way of, like, if you're wandering around to the repo, you can be like, oh, what's the most recent like version, without having to dive into setup pi and scroll down. Like, you can just check on the mid page. Like, you can click on that master drop down right there, and it will show you like the tags if we start having tags. And then ideally, you can start and then after that, once we start using GitHub like tags and releases, then ideally, Matt would be able to see whenever we have a new release. And you would just get an email. We'd be like, hey, like, you don't have to do anything with GitHub. You just get an email that says, hey, we have a new release, and you can go to DocAssemble and press update.
You also might be able to do something like Jonathan's set up with a file changelog.md if Teams has integration with bots or stuff like that. But
but I think it all kind of comes down to having tagged releases. So I'm just showing, here's the feature on DocAssemble, which uses it. Jonathan has a script that kind of does all of the things. It updates his changelog.
We should copy that.
Creates the tag.
Nice.
Yep. So it would be it's just some setup on our side to make that happen, but we could do it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. No, it's easy enough right now to just monitor it. manually. But
Okay,
yeah, I think going forward, that will probably help us and other users as well.
that sounds very true. Yes. Cool.
I think we might have run into the end of everyone's questions, but if anyone has other questions they didn't bring up, we could jump to those now. Okay. Well, I guess I could just make the announcement again that we made earlier in our management. Since Audrey and Matt, you're both heavy users, I think we're going to do a new sprint soon, meaning like we're going to look at our issues, prioritize them, and tackle a 2-week subset of them. So if you had things you were thinking of as feedback that you haven't created an issue for yet, this could be a good opportunity in the next week or two to do that. I think probably we're going to just do like a pre-meeting next week, and we might start to do that triage depending on timing and how we feel about our first look at things.
Okay, thanks. That's good to know. And I appreciate that you are doing that. I think that'll be helpful, because I'm guessing you have a long wish list of things you'd like to change. Do you know if the issue that we talked about yesterday, allowing for a search with a court loader, I think that was it, to look at a different field, is that included, or should I make an issue for that?
Yeah, if you don't mind making an issue for it, I don't think I created one when we were talking yesterday, so that would be good.
Okay, I will try to translate it into something readable and put it in the right place. I'll see what I can do. So, okay, cool.
Oh,
thanks.
and the good thing is, if you create an issue, you do automatically get notified when the issue is resolved. So you could subscribe to individual issues that you care about if you know I'm waiting for this feature to get added. But when you create them, that happens automatically.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
All right. David,
Cool.
I think you jumped on to close us out, so I will let you do that.
I was